Welcome to WION, sir. India and Finland have traditionally historical ties. And next year in 2024, the countries will be completing 75 years of establishment of diplomatic relations. How do you look at it?
Well, I think it's indeed an important milestone. And I think we really, as you say, have been enjoying very good relationship. And in the last few years, I would say that it's also has become wider and deeper in many respects, that we have, for example, partnerships in digitalisation, sustainability, regarding innovations, startups, and all kinds of things like that. And I think really, especially in the field of digitalisation, Finland has a lot to offer to India, because we have very advanced companies such as Nokia, who are developing solutions also here in India for 6G and already applying 5G here in India. And also we have interesting new areas such as quantum computing and atmospheric sciences, artificial intelligence, so many kinds of things. And to put things in order and make it more understandable, we have also developed a new concept. We call it DESI. Yeah. Coming from digitalisation, education or environment, sustainability and innovation. And with this concept, we are trying to make the portfolio more visible and more understandable what we are doing together. So many kinds of things really. And of course, next week, for example, we will have the visit of our Minister of Development and Foreign Trade, Mr. Tavio, attend the Nordic-Baltic business conclave, and he will also have bilateral meetings, and also we will then launch this DESI concept here in India. It was launched already in Finland in September.
Yeah, great to hear that both the countries are collaborating on emerging technologies like 5G, AI and 6G. So I want to talk about the G20 summit which India hosted. The outcome of G20 summit, a lot of countries appreciated the joint declaration and also the inclusion of African Union into the bloc. How do you look at it? How do you look at India as an emerging collective voice for Global South and for African nations?
I think India succeeded very well in hosting the G20, including the summit, and I think it really was a worthwhile effort, and also raised India's profile as a spokesperson for the Global South. So I would just congratulate India, and also, of course, the membership of African Union, which was supported by the European Union as well, for example, is an important indicator of the relevance of the African countries, and I think that will also shape the agenda in the years to come.
So when you talk about India and European Union as a bloc, both the bloc and India are vying to take forward the negotiations as far as FTA, free trade agreement, is concerned. How do you think it is ongoing? What is the current status, and if agreed upon, how this FTA is going to benefit India and Finland?
Well, first of all, India and EU are strategic partners. And we have many areas of cooperation and many mutual interests. So starting from that point of view, I think it's very important that we would also have a free trade agreement and also investment protection agreement and agreement on geographical indications. So all these three agreements, I think, would be important for mutual benefit, because I think always negotiations for agreements need to reach a compromise that is really mutually beneficial. Yeah. So that's the starting point. And I think the European Union here wants to have ambitious agreements which would go beyond let's say, existing multinational rules, and also, for example, our commitments in the WTO. So really modern agreements that would then govern important areas like market access and government procurement, and also, let's say, digital trade, TBT, SPS, trade and sustainable development, and so on. And so that's something that in Finland we also see as very beneficial and mutually really important to achieve. And we certainly had hoped that the negotiations could have been completed or could be completed by the end of this year. But as time goes by, I think it becomes more and more difficult to reach that goal. And there are still, I think, negotiations coming up in December, as far as I've understood. But if a breakthrough is not achieved by, well, let's say, early next year, then I think the elections, both here in India and also in the EU, will cause a delay in the negotiation process.
Yeah. Ambassador, I also want to talk about the India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor. The Israel war, which is going on in West Asia, it has raised concerns related to the viability of this project. Even Israeli president yesterday said that Iran is trying to sabotage this project. How do you look at it?
Well, I think that project really is a long-term project, and it certainly has good logic behind it. So I'm still confident that the project really has a lot of promise. But obviously there has to be a resolution to the present conflict in Middle East to enable the project to go forward. But as I said, in the long term, I'm still very confident that it will have, let's say, good potential.
Great. Thank you, Ambassador, for talking to WION.
Thank you.